listen, I want to congratulate you on this book. And, you're talking to a Canadian here. However, I've always been fascinated with American history. It was my highest mark in high school. I'm just fascinated by it. What fascinates you the most about American history? Why do you like delving into this?
There's a great quote that is attributed to Mark Twain, though I don't think he actually said it, but it says, "History doesn't repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme." And I love that you can see stories and see not just the past, but you can kind of see your own present and certainly your own future when you look at history. And that's always the best part of it.
Oh, yeah, that is for sure. Now, listen, you've given us a great book about Washington. You dove into his life and conspiracies and things, and that was fascinating. What was it about Lincoln? I mean, this book is it reads like a thriller. Congratulations. But it's all real, How do you do that?
Now, you know what you need the right story. And we all know the story of how John Wilkes Booth ended Abraham Lincoln's presidency. But this is actually the story of the first secret plot to kill Lincoln at the very start. Because to be inaugurated as and sworn in as America's 16th president, Abraham Lincoln had to travel by train from his home in Springfield, Illinois, and go to Washington, D.C. But the only way to get there is you had to go through Baltimore. And Baltimore at the time was a slave state. So the plot was very simple. A secret society planned to murder Abraham Lincoln when he came through Baltimore and end his presidency before it even began. And as you said, it all really happened.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I want to know from you, like, what kind of research, like, how do you even begin to find out about this kind of stuff? Tell me a little bit about your process.
Yeah, so our secret weapon is Josh Mensch, an award-winning documentarian, my co-author on the book, and was our executive producer for our History Channel TV show. And Josh is, he and I always agree on kind of the best parts. So we talked about this part. This is all true. There's a speeding train in the middle of the night. And on this train, lots of passengers, but there's four we're focused on. One of them is a businessman with another businessman. There's a woman and her invalid brother. None of them are who they say they are. And what they're really doing is all using disguises. The businessman is actually Alan Pinkerton, the head of the famed Pinkerton Detective Agency, famous private eye. The woman is Kate Warren. Kate Warren is America's first female private eye. Wait till you meet her. She's incredible, my new hero. And her brother, her so-called brother, is not her brother at all. He's actually not an invalid either. His name is Abraham Lincoln. He's in disguise, and they are taking him in the middle of the night, whisking him away to make sure they avoid the secret society that's plotting to kill him. And I just ruined chapter one of the first of the Lincoln conspiracy for you, but there's chapter one.
Well, that's okay. That's okay, because now you're getting everybody excited. Because honestly, I wanted to ask you about Kate Warren. Oh my God. Like, you're right. Somebody needs to just make a movie about her. Like, she's fascinating. And of course, being, doing what she did at that time, like, women, this was not something that women would do. Tell me a little bit about, what you found out about her, not giving away too much, but, and why you call her your new hero.
Yeah, Kate Warren is, at the time when she gets hired, 26 years old. She's a widower, has no kids, but she needs to pay money for her family. So at a time when no one is hiring women in law enforcement, much less as a private detective, she walks into the Pinkerton Detective Agency and says to Alan Pinkerton, "I want a job." And no one's hiring anyone at that time. But what's great is Alan Pinkerton realizes, you know what? There are people who are going to talk to her in ways they never talk to me. And he hires her. And she's one of the people who's put in charge of Abraham Lincoln's life and helped save his life. And, she's kind of like a footnote to history. Not to me and not anymore. You'll see her come to life in the Lincoln conspiracy. I promise, you're dressing as her for Halloween this year.
Oh, okay. Love it. Love it. Yeah, no, it's just fascinating. Like, honestly, I want to know from you, you've given us such awesome books and novels. Honestly, you're so good at what you do. I want to know who you like to read, who has been kind of your mentors, and authors that you have kind of taken from, maybe.
Yeah, at the very start of my career, the first mystery I ever read, I went to the library. My family didn't have a lot of money growing up, but my grandmother had this magical object called a library card. It was like Harry Potter's wand, but more powerful. And I went to the library, and this librarian said to me, "This is your section." And I thought she literally meant these were my books. And she wasn't wrong, but it was there I met two early heroes of mine. One was Judy Blume. Another was a woman named Agatha Christie. And I'll never forget reading Agatha Christie for the first time. And there in that early chapter was a dead body. And I remember seeing that dead body and asking myself that question I've been asking myself for all the years since: who done it? It changed my life. And obviously, I write a lot of thrillers. People know me for my thrillers. This book is obviously a nonfiction book that I started doing that. But a good story to me is a good story, whatever the genre. And when you have a good story about Abraham Lincoln, you got to tell it. You got to tell it.
Oh, that is for sure. Yeah, I mean, he was a fascinating president, and he started off his life like so much tragedy in the beginning of his life with his mother dying, his sisters dying, and it just his life. I don't know. One of the more fascinating presidents. Do you agree about that?
Oh, 100%. I mean, and what I love about this book is you get to see him at the start of his presidency. We all know Abraham Lincoln as the great president, freed the slaves, Emancipation Proclamation. But when you see him at the start, he's unsure of himself. He's trying to figure it out. When you tell him that he's actually won the presidency, you know what he's doing? He's on the back of the building and he's playing handball, regular, ordinary guy. When he leaves to go to Washington, the last thing he does is he says he wants to go home. He wants to go see his father's grave. He wants to say goodbye to his stepmother, who he loves and adores, helped raise him. And he goes and sees his stepmom. You'll see the scene where they see each other. But one of the things they do is he says to her when he leaves, the stepmother says, "I'm worried they're going to assassinate him. I'm never going to see him again." She's absolutely right. And one of the mistakes we make with our heroes is we build these grand pedestals for them to stand on. We build these great statues of them and we worship at their feet. We do them a huge disservice because everyone you look up to, whether it's Abraham Lincoln or Kate Warren or Rosa Parks or George Washington, whoever it might be, have moments where they were scared and they were terrified and they didn't think they could go on, but they go forward. And you have to remember that these people are just like us. We're all of us scared and brave. We're all of us terrified and amazing. Some of us in the same day, some of us in the same few minutes. That's not a flaw. That's what makes us human. And I love that you get to see Abraham Lincoln be exactly like that.
Amazing, amazing. Well, listen, thank you so much for this book. I'm about halfway through, so I can't wait to finish it off. But best of luck to you with it, and keep well, keep safe. And it's been wonderful having an opportunity to talk to you this morning, Brad. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.